What is the nicest compliment you have ever received? I lost my dad when I was in high school, and a friend's mother wrote a condolence card that said, "I never knew your dad, but I do know the young man that he raised. And because of that, I know what an amazing father he was." I got a lot of condolence cards around that time, and that is the only one I remember. That's really beautiful. I'm sorry about your dad. Was told I smelled good by 4 people, even though I hadn't taken a shower or put deodorant in 2 days. Pheromones are a hell of a drug. I had a biology professor in college who insisted that humans don't have pheromones because we are not peeping bugs. Well, I'm not peeping bugs either, but I'm not going to kink shame either. Honestly, I've spent too much time watching those videos where people pour rubbing alcohol or whatever in their ear and then a cockroach comes out and speep. Now imagine that in your urethra. Fuck you, I did not need to think about that. Actually, I have 2 that are dear to me. The first was from a friend who had died way too young, who told me that when he writes the book of his life, I would have my own chapter. The next was from a coworker who was ex-army that told me he would follow me into battle. Those are 2 huge compliments. Like, fundamentally from the heart. This says an enormous amount about the quality of your character. After reading this, I'm going to think about my book of life and who would be featured. Thanks for sharing this. One of my ex-girlfriends told me that my penis is adorable. I don't think that's a compliment. Is it not? Damn, your mom says it to me all the time. Shorsey, damn, I've seen you before. Bro spitting fire like it's Modern Warfare 2. Lately I've been hooked on just these MW2 videos. They're hella funny and toxic. After ice skating together, a girl looked me in the eyes and dead seriously asked, "Is there anything you're not good at?" That one still keeps me going. Please tell me you guys are still in touch. I need to know the end of this novel. Tell me. An older friend of mine told me his daughter teen had a crush on me, not a teen, and said he was glad because that meant she had good taste and would find a good man when she grew up. I still think about it because although I was slightly uncomfortable, I knew that must have been even harder for him to say, which to me made it that much more meaningful. I've been called a good father and husband by complete strangers a few times. Makes me happy every time. The very fact that you looked for a place to get your wife flowers recently just shows you genuinely are. Your wife and kids are lucky to have you in their life. Nicest compliment came from a little girl. She told me I had pretty hair, which is not anything special. But about 10 years on and I still remember this little girl I didn't know having the confidence to give a stranger a compliment. I dunno. It stuck with me because she was so sweet. Same. A 10-ish-year-old girl said she liked my beard. Come to think of it, older women tell me they like my luscious hair and that they're envious of it. So I guess I did get more compliments than I thought. My fianc told me she would wipe my ass if it came to it after being diagnosed with Miss. Not sure it counts as a compliment, but that's love right there, haha. My wife told me the same thing. If you like reading, The Journal of a Disappointed Man by W.N.P. Barbellion is a great read. It is speculated the author had Ms. I read it every autumn. I do enjoy a good book. We'll add it to my Amazon basket for when I get some money, thank you. You have strong veins from a nurse when I was donating blood. Flardery will get you nowhere. One time I was at a restaurant with a bunch of friends way back before all this pandemic isolation. I miss those days. I had been talking a bunch, I guess, and this young woman, bless her wonderful heart, makes her way over to our table. I promise I wasn't trying to listen in or anything, but sir, you have just an incredible voice. Do you do podcasting or anything? Because you should. I would listen. You seem like you have good things to say. It was so out of the blue, and touched me deeply. See, I'm a trans gentleman and was early-ish on in my transition. And at that point my voice had only recently dropped. Up until that point I had been deeply uncomfortable with my voice, but once it decided to drop, it dropped like a rock. And I wound up blessed with the rich baritone of my dreams. This young woman took time to go out of her way to give such a glowing compliment to a stranger, and just happened to touch on something so deeply meaningful to me. I think about her often, and always hope that she's well. She'll never know just how much her kindness meant to me, but I hope that karma is being incredible to her for it. Undefined. Your joy at the initial comment and the subsequent award are a reminder that we are all better off for sharing genuine kindness. Even on Reddit. The person who runs my division at head office told my branch manager that if there were one of me in every branch, he would never have to worry about anything. I've also been approached by 2 different customers to quit my job and go work for them. The second one was hilarious. She wanted me to go to northern Alberta and work for her and her husband in the oil patch. She had drug dogs, and basically I would use them to search rigs. I politely declined. My friends and I laughed so hard about this, because I am a stoner who is allergic to dogs. I am a stoner who is allergic to dogs. Guess your life has its highs and lows. My art teacher in high school said he was proud of me. Best goddamn thing anyone's ever said to me. Why's they said that to Hitler? This was when I might have been 8 to 9 years old. I used to do well in trivia and quizzing. Not insanely good, just good enough for people to notice. In our school sometimes if a teacher was absent a different teacher used to fill in their classes and these periods would be self-study or something boring. One of the teachers who knew about me used to call me to the front of the class and frequently ask me to be the quizmaster and organize a mini trivia contest as an activity for that period. I usually had some references books from where I used to source the questions. One day she asked me to host the trivia competition for my classmates, but I told her that I didn't have the book with me that day. In reply she told me that I should be fine because at that point I would know more than that silly trivia book anyway. The confidence boost that one single line of random praise that I got that day still helps me tackle life's problems one at a time. I can essentially trace my confidence in my abilities to that one sentence uttered by my teacher. I'm eternally thankful to her words from that day. Teachers are the best. When the first thing someone says after they taste something you made isn't a word, but like in a good sense lol. Cafefe. One time a puppy came over to me. The owner then told me they don't typically like humans. Made my entire day. Anytime I think about it I can't help but feel good about myself. Having a shy animal approach you when the owner says they almost never do that is huge. You have a sweet spirit. Was it a peach schnapps? No. I told I needed to lose 6 kilograms. The girl told me I was pretty the way I was. Didn't need to lose weight. It was 2 weeks ago and even now it makes me smile. That I was the most emotionally intelligent person they know. By 2 different people on 2 separate occasions. I hold this closely to my heart. Ex told me a year after we broke up that I was one of the best people she knew. But the best compliment ever is my wife choosing to be married to me. One time when I was talking with a girl that I liked, she told me I have a soothing voice. I normally have trouble accepting compliments and actually believing them about myself, but that one kind of stuck with me. My friend's mom once told me I had beautiful cheekbones. This stuck with me BC. I was struggling with my weight at the time and had a very round face. So it felt amazing that someone saw any structure under what I was perceiving as an ocean of fat. Fast forward 4 years and I'm eating much healthier. I've lost a lot of weight, and I really love my face. Thanks for the kickstart, Francine. That I bring out the best in people. That's a good one. You're a nice asshole. Was this person lubing up his penis and staring hungrily at your backside while saying that? Thanks for my first laugh of the day. Wow, you don't mess around. A member of my team when I laid out a strategy of what I needed them to do to deal with a very difficult problem, wherein we not simply solved it adequately, but ground it up into a fine powder with extreme prejudice. I don't know what it is you do. But from the sounds of it, if it had been you doing the planning, I don't think John Wick would have made it to the second movie. Not necessarily the nicest, but my dad once told me that I was cursed with a kind heart. That I'm underrated. You are underrated. You too weird thread. I'm a handsome guy. Means a lot when I have self-esteem issues. 7 years ago I was heading into the office to a job I hated, and stopped at McDonald's on the way. I pulled up to the first window to pay, and after the young kid gave me my card back, before he closed the window, he said "You're so pretty," with a high voice and so much energy, and closed the window with a huge smile on his face. That was when I was at my heaviest, nearing 300 pounds and at one of the worst stages of my life physically, mentally, and emotionally. I bawled my eyes out the entire ride to work after that. I'll never forget him and how he made me feel. Thanks for coming. You always brighten the room. My friend when I came to her dinner party. You changed my outlook on life. It meant a lot knowing I had inspired my friend in some way. I was tutoring at an elementary school, and this 7-year-old kid said I looked cool. I don't know why. I normally blow off compliments, but the way this kid said it made me actually feel like someone worth looking up to. That, if she wasn't already married, she'd ask me. I had a stroke reading this, also mildly cheating. Yeah, same. It took me half my brain to figure out there was a typo. And the comma/grammar is just bad. Also definitely cheating, so not cool in my opinion. That I was the purest person I know. This was said by my HS crush. Unfortunately, that friendship didn't last much longer when a friend spilled the beans to her about the crush on grad night the next month. You are powerfully cute. I am very patient and usually overly optimistic. I tend to think the best of others and the worst of myself. In a morning status call recently, a coworker announced that she was going to try to be more bubbly and patient, like farts_n_darts. A couple of coworkers agreed that they'd try and do the same and then that everyone should try and emulate me a little bit. Typing this out, it sounds like some speep you'd see on /r/that happened. But it actually did happen. Nobody clapped. I wish I had been recording the call. It was a huge boost to my mood and self-esteem and honestly one of the best if not the best compliments I've ever received. I trust your judgment more than anyone else I know. English teacher telling me I have a knack for writing poems with good rhythm. Some girl telling me my hair is nice because I actually bothered to do it. Some random woman at the park told me that I have a really cute smile, something I'm quite insecure about, but I took that compliment to heart and almost cried. An Indian said that unlike most white people, I don't smell like a wet dog. Complete opposite. When I was in 3rd grade at recess, a girl older than me that I never spoke to in my life walked up to me and said, "I feel sorry for you. You're not going to have a neck when you're older." Then handed me a foil pencil, and skipped her happy ass away. If I was you, it would take me a full 30 minutes to register and understand what she just said. Then I would have a mental breakdown. I've had friends tell me I'm their blunt friend. And I love it because they always come to me for advice, and they know I will always tell them what I fully think. It means they trust me. Probably not the nicest, but one of the most memorable. I used to work as a runner for a delivery company, someone who helps drivers deliver stuff but doesn't actually drive. If I was ever working with drivers I disliked, I would intentionally talk to them less and try unload the truck a lot faster than normal. If I liked the driver, we would go slower and have a lot more banter. On my last day, a driver I disliked came up to me in front of the boss and said, "She's really fast and efficient. I'm going to miss working with her." This made me realize that I spent way too much time getting frustrated at people who genuinely appreciated my help. I work in a pharmacy and have gotten my fair share of crusading customers. With COVID, it's gotten hard to remember faces compared to before. But this wonderful older woman came up to me and thanked me for how absolutely kind I am to her and customers every time she's here. She explained how sweet and caring I am with the customers I deal with. It's honestly so genuinely uplifting to hear even something so small like that. It definitely makes having a speepty day completely go away.